Hello, everybody. Am I live? There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There is a delay between the Chromebook. Hello, Marie. There is like I mentioned, a delay between the Chromebook and the phone today. So just FYI, if I'm transport time, I deleted a bunch of emails. When did you send it? It wasn't, but I ended up not having to babysit, so I'm here. I do need to. I'm running a bit behind. Not really by choice. So give me a second. I got one more thing I have to do, and then we can go live. Then we can get started. Okay, I will look. Whoa, that doesn't go there. Oh, no. I was afraid of that. There we go. It's a tortoise. escalated. It's not a leopard, I don't think. Anyway, we'll get to that. I didn't see it and ended up deleting it. Okay, guys. So I do have a couple of announcements that I need to make before we get into it. First off, I do want to talk about that for just a second. For those of you that live in the United States, President Trump is talking about messing with a bunch of the environmental laws that are currently on the books to make it easier for things like coal, which he plans on doing more of. He wants to just basically open the door for businesses to do what they need to do to make more energy. Therefore, he's going to mess with the Endangered Species Act. He's going to delist the wolves, which will mean that ranchers and hunters will be able to hunt willy-nilly. I don't know how exactly that's going to look like or what's going to happen, but just keep that in mind. If you need to reach out to your representatives or your senators, do so. I plan on doing it. I don't know if it'll do any good. But anyway. Jack, 457. No. I'm sorry, Marie. I didn't mean to be eating on camera. Food. I'm eating food. So let's get into this. We've wasted enough time. Houston Zoo. We're talking about the Galapagos exhibit. This is a fairly new zoo exhibit. It opened in 2023. Cereal. It cost $70 million to build this exhibit. If you are not already following Zach over at Zoo Tours, you are definitely doing something wrong. He is an amazing YouTuber. And yeah, he has visited a bunch of zoos, so you don't have to. Or, well, you should visit these zoos. I'm going to post his tour of the Galapagos exhibit because I think it is definitely worth checking out. I'm going to be talking about it, but seeing it I think helps. I definitely think you get a lot more from seeing it than you do talking about it. But anyway, there it is. Hi, Chelsea. So this is the only zoo that I know of in the United States, maybe even outside of the United States, that focuses the entire exhibit on the Galapagos Islands. I know people will answer it. One thing this exhibit does a lot of, it's not for me. If it was, they would be calling my cell phone. One of the things, this exhibit does really well is it educates you on the Galapagos, which is amazing because we need that. We need more exhibits that focus more on the ecosystem than it does on actual space. There are tortoises that live on those islands, yes. So one of the things that this exhibit also does is it has stand-ins. So instead of displaying Galapagos sea lions, they display California sea lions. The reason for this is there are international laws that protect the Galapagos. So you cannot remove animals from the Galapagos in order to display them. Or you can't remove the animals, period. So, yes. So the animals that are being displayed are animals that reflect the Galapagos. The tortoises that they have on exhibit are descendants of animals that have been in the United States since like the beginning of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century. So that's not an issue. So another example is the Humboldt penguins, which do not come from the Galapagos, but do come from South America, are on exhibit. And we'll talk about them a little bit later. So the exhibit starts off with sea lions. And this is a really good kickoff because the Galapagos do have a species of sea lion called the Galapagos sea lion. If you watch my How Many Species of Sea Lion Are There video, we talk about them. Again, they are not displaying Galapagos sea lions. They are displaying California sea lions. And the zoo is doing an amazing job at educating people about these animals. As you enter the Galapagos exhibit area, you are going to see statues of animals that live on the Galapagos, things like great frigate birds as well as marine iguanas. Now, the zoo does house quite a few Galapagos tortoises. I don't know exactly how many. But they do have them and they were bred in the United States. Also, the Galapagos Nibaran, I'm not even talking about that. Why do you ask? The building, so once you can view the Galapagos tortoises from outside, but then you are quickly taken inside. And once you're inside, you get a second chance to see the Galapagos tortoises. I keep saying turtles. I don't know why. There is a whole display of the reptiles that live on the Galapagos Islands. There was a note for the mods. If you read this beforehand, you will see that note. I'm not going to talk about it now. Once you see the Galapagos, your next area of attention is going to be on a exhibit of iguanas. These are not from the Galapagos Islands. These are Cayman blue iguanas. And they actually get sunlight from above, which is awesome. Once you visit the iguanas, you're going to go down inside a cave, and there you are going to be able to see the sea lions from under the water. Another little fun thing, if you do visit the Houston Zoo, be on the lookout for crabs. I did say crabs, yes. They have statues of little statues. Some of them are painted, some of them are not, of crabs around the different exhibits. So be looking for that. Sort of a little Easter egg thing. Ladies and gentlemen, they do have Sally Lightfoot crabs. If you don't know what that is, these are Sally Lightfoot crabs. You see these a lot around the marine iguanas, at least on land. They aren't just found on the Galapagos Islands, which is how the zoo is able to have them. Next up, you'll get, like I said, that chance. You're going to get a third chance to see the Galapagos. Carol would love to see this exhibit, I think. Uh-oh. The reason I say that is your third chance to see the sea lions is sort of unique. It is a 40-foot tunnel that takes you under and around the sea lion pool. They can rest on top of it. They swim over it. They swim around you. Well, not around you, but up and over. And it's really cool. Next up, after you go through all of that, is a really cool part of the exhibit that talks about plastic in the oceans. This is a very serious issue as a lot of animals have plastics in them, some of the turtles, that is sea turtles, actually eat plastic thinking it's a jellyfish. And they talk about different types of plastics, like water bottles and straws. This part of the exhibit also houses sea nettles, which is a type of jellyfish. Next up is a massive reef tank that is home to sharks, rays, and I think 20 different species. Fun fact, the corals that are in this tank are real. They are man-made to look like the corals that you will see living around the Galapagos Islands. From there, you enter a lava tube where you might see trumpet fish. Trumpet fish is a fish that is related. Seriously, anybody else having that issue? Yeah, chat disconnected. Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, chat. Okay, so maybe it's okay. We are reconnected. Okay. Trumpet fish are related to seahorses, so they have some behaviors that are the same. Like the males actually are the ones that hold the eggs once the female transfers them over. They may even have seahorses. I didn't see them, and I haven't read them being there, but they could be there. After that, you're going to meet something that is relatively rare, I feel like, in the United States for some penguins. Not all penguins, but some penguins. The Humboldt penguins, which are a warmer species of penguin, they don't live in the Antarctic, so they're usually kept outside. But in the Houston area, it is so hot during the summer that it's warmer than the area that these penguins came from. So they have them inside. But apart from that, they also keeps them safe from mosquito-borne illnesses, which is huge.